Hi everyone, welcome back to ANR Academy. Today we are going to discuss angle bisectors of given two intersecting lines. See here, if a line L1 is of the form A1x plus B1y plus C1 equals 0, L2 which is second line of the form A2x plus B2y plus C2 equal to 0, then this is the equation of angular bisectors. Here this is the equation having both plus or minus sign. One sign for acute angular bisector and the other sign for obtuse angular bisector. And the formula here A1x plus B1y plus C1 divided by root over A1 square plus B1 square equal to plus or minus A2x plus B2y plus C2 divided by root over A2 square plus B2 square. And to find the angular bisectors, particularly acute angular bisector and obtuse angular bisector, we follow the procedure. First you have to make C1, C2 positive. After that, suppose A1, A2 plus B1, B2 positive. To get acute angular bisector, in this formula just you have to use negative sign. And for obtuse angular bisector, you have to use positive sign. In case A1, A2 plus B1, B2 negative, for acute angular bisector, here in the formula you have to use positive sign. For obtuse angular, you have to use negative sign. Let us discuss the reason behind this. Why these signs are important to find acute and obtuse angular bisectors, let us discuss now. Before going to discuss about the signs, first our discussion about angular bisectors, basic definition. Suppose that there are two intersecting lines, one is L1 and the other is L2. Suppose this is first line and this is second line, and there exist two angular bisectors. This is acute angle between the lines, and there exists acute angular bisector as well as obtuse angular bisector. This bisector is known as acute angular bisector. Next, this is obtuse angle between the lines, and this is the line. It is obtuse angle bisector of given two intersecting lines. And observe in this figure the collection of points which are on angular bisectors. They are equidistant from two intersecting lines. Therefore I can write D1 equal to D2 if it is P x comma y be any locus point. Distance from point P to L1, first line L1, you know that first line A1x plus B1y plus C1 equal 0. So that D1 equal to D2 implies I can write left side distance formula from point P to L1, that is A1x plus B1y plus C1 divided by root over A1 square plus B1 square, which is equal to next D2. D2 is the distance from point P to second line L2. Distance formula I am going to write in the right hand side. A2x plus B2y plus C2 divided by root over A2 square plus B2 square. Here both the sides you have modulus symbol. Neglecting modulus on both the sides, we get plus or minus sign. That is ax1 plus a1x plus b1y plus c1 divided by root over a1 square plus b1 square, which is equal to plus or minus a2x plus b2y plus c2 divided by root over a2 square plus b2 square. Neglecting modulus on both the sides, in the next step we get plus or minus sign. These are acute as well as obtuse angular bisectors, and to find acute and obtuse we follow this procedure. First you have to cross check a1 a2 plus b1 b2 whether it is positive or negative by taking both c1 c2 positive. Yes, why these signs are important to find acute and obtuse angular bisectors, let us discuss. See, we follow the procedure first by selecting both C1 as well as C2. First you have to select positive. Okay. Whatever the equation given, for example, if the equation is given 2x plus 3y minus 4 equal 0, x minus y plus 2 equal 0. Suppose the equations are of this form, then first you have to make constants positive. That is, you have to rewrite this equation minus 2x minus 3y plus 4 equal to 0. Now constants positive. After getting positive constants, then you have to apply this tabular form. Verification a1 a2 plus b1 b2 whether it is positive or negative, and after that, depending upon that, to get acute and obtuse you have to use different signs. Yes, see, suppose that c1 c2 both positive. Here on Cartesian coordinate system I am going to draw two lines. This is L1 first line and this is L2 which is second line. L1 equal to 0, L2 equal to 0. These are two intersecting lines, and already constants both C1 C2 are positive, remember. Yes, I am going to write intercepts. Suppose if the line is of the form ax plus by plus c equal to 0, then x-intercept and y-intercept. X-intercept value minus c by a, y-intercept value minus c by b. To get x-intercept you have to write y value 0. Y equal to 0 means x become minus c by a. To get y-intercept you have to write x equal to 0. Therefore, putting x value 0 we get y value minus c by b. You know this. So using this, here to the line L1 x-intercept become, here x-intercept to the first line, this is minus c1 divided by a1 and this is minus c2 divided by a2, and here y-intercepts using this formula minus c1 by b1, here it is minus c2 divided by b2. Here in this figure, x-intercepts as well as y-intercepts, all of them with positive sign. So I am going to write here the conditions. In this case, minus c1 by a1 minus c2 by a2 minus c1 by b1 minus c2 by b2. All here they are with positive sign. Why? Because x-intercepts positive, y-intercepts also positive. And we know that neglecting negative sign, c1 by a1 less than 0, c2 by a2 less than 0, c1 by b1 less than 0, c2 by b2 less than 0. Already c1 c2 constants are positive, so that I can write here A1 should be less than 0. C2 also positive. Positive by negative only negative. So A2 negative, B1 negative, B2 negative. And from these four I can write A1 A2 plus B1 B2 in this case. All of them negative. Negative into negative positive. Again here negative into negative positive. So that A1 A2 plus B1 B2 that become positive in this case. Yes, C1 C2 positive over, and A1 A2 plus B1 B2 also positive in this case. Now let us discuss angular bisectors. Here I am going to select acute angular bisector first. This is acute angular bisector. If I select a point P on acute angular bisector, here I am going to select the point P, which is on acute angular bisector. And here it is origin. See, with respect to the line L1, this is the line L1, and both the points origin P, they are same side of the line. O, P, they are same side of L1, first line. Next, with respect to the second line, this is L2. P is here and O is here. Both the points O, P, they are opposite side of second line. I am going to write O, P, they are opposite side of the second line L2. I am going to use division formula now. Origin 0, 0 and the point P whose coordinates x, y. They are same side of first line A1x plus B1y plus C1 equal to 0. When two points are same side of the line, then the division is external, remember. Therefore, the ratio minus L11 by L22, which is less than 0, implies I can write L11 by L22 more than 0. L11, first point you have to write on the line, that is A1x plus B1y plus C1. In place of x, y, you have to replace general point. So, no change as it is. Ax plus by plus A1x plus B1y plus C1. Next, L22. Second point is origin. Here you have to put origin. Therefore, what we get? Just C1 more than 0. Here C1, already constant C1 is positive. Automatically, to get the ratio positive, numerator also with positive sign. Next, second case. You know that in the second case, the point P as well as origin, they are opposite side of second line L2. When they are of opposite side, the division is internal. Therefore, minus L11 by L22 which is more than 0, that is L11 by L22 less than 0. L11 P substitution on L2, that is A2x plus B2y plus C2 divided by L22, second point substitution in the line. Origin, if you write in this, just you will get C2, which is less than 0. Already C1, C2 both positive, so that here we get A2x plus B2y plus C2. Here in this case the ratio is negative, but denominator C2 is positive. So automatically numerator should be more than 0. We got these two results. So one is with both of them positive, right? Actually this is negative. Why? Because if the ratio is negative, and C2 is positive, implies numerator must be negative. Negative means here you have to write less than 0. Both are of opposite sign. Both are of opposite sign means in the formula you have A1x plus B1y plus C1 divided by root over A1 square plus B1 square along with modulus sign, but no need to write modulus. Why? Because already the internal quantity is more than 0. So just put as it is A1x plus B1y plus C1 by root over A1 square plus B1 square. Next, in the right hand side D2, and for which internal part A2x plus B2y plus C2 negative. So to get distance positive you have to write negative sign. One is with positive sign and the other with negative sign. So here you have to write A2x plus B2y plus C2 divided by root over A2 square plus B2 square. So to get acute angular bisector, you have to use negative sign. Yes, we know that by the tabular form also it is very clear that already C1, C2 positive, A1, A2 plus B1, B2 positive. To get acute angular bisector, you have to use negative sign. The same we got by this result. Yes, one is positive and the other negative. So here positive, here it is negative. So this is the procedure. And in the same way, to get obtuse angular bisector, see, this is acute angular bisector. If you select a general point on this, what happens? Observe. Suppose if you select point P here, in this case, in both the cases, O and P, they are same side of L1, L2. First L1, the 2 points are same side. Next, if you select L2, the 2 points are same side. Yes. See, suppose O comma P, same side of L1 as well as L2. Same side implies the line dividing the line segment externally. Therefore, in this case, division ratio minus L11 by L22, which is negative, implies L11 by L22 can be written as more than 0. First point, if you write A1x plus B1y plus C1 divided by, next if you write origin in the line, you will get just C1 more than 0. C1 already positive, so that A1x plus B1y plus C1 more than 0. Similarly, A2x plus B2y plus C2, it is also more than 0. Why? Because in both the cases, in the case of first line and second line, the points O comma P are same side. Therefore, the same result we get. The same result means both left side and right side in the formula you have to write positive symbol. So the formula become A1x plus B1y plus C1 divided by root over A1 square plus B1 square equal to both positive. Here you have to write A2x plus B2y plus C2 divided by root over A2 square plus B2 square, and hence in the formula whenever to find obtuse angular bisector you have to use positive sign in the formula. So this is the reason behind that tabular form. Remember, it is must first to make C1 C2 as positive, and after that depending upon A1 A2 plus B1 B2 value, whether it is positive or negative, depending upon that you can decide acute and obtuse angular bisectors by this formula. If it is positive for acute, today we discussed in the proof, for acute you have to use negative sign, for obtuse you have to use plus sign in the formula. In case if you get A1 A2 plus B1 B2 less than 0, then remember that opposite to this. I hope you have understood everything. The students, those who are watching my videos, please subscribe the channel and don't forget to comment, like as well as share my videos. Thank you so much.